And I'm here today to share with you a little bit about tone. I happen to be blind, so I think I have a little bit of a unique perspective on that whole subject, so hopefully you can glean something from this. Specifically, the component of tone I want to talk about today is amplifiers. All amplifiers are not created equal. I don't care what you've got. I don't care if you've got a Mesa, a Cornford, a Yamaha, PV, Fender Princeton, I don't care. They're not created equal. Obviously, well. So why do you treat them that way? Why do you look at your bass knob and assume that it's actually going to produce bass when it's set at 80%? Let me give you an example. I have about 30 students or so that I teach here in mid-Missouri, and last week I had one of my students bring his amp to lesson, and he has a really nice amp. He spent a good bit of money on. He's brought it before, and he was getting a real thin tone, so I said, hey, would you mind if I put my hands on your amp and just see what I can do? He said, sure, go ahead. So I did. It ended up that I turned the bass control all the way up, the treble and the mid all the way down, and turned the master up. And when I was done, he was blown away, and so was I. It sounded really good. And he looked at it and he said, I never would have thought to set those controls like that. Look, we play music, right? That's what we like to do. We play guitar. There's something about music that fascinates us. We want to make it sound in a beautiful way or a powerful way, express ourselves, emotions, all that, right? Why do we pay attention to what we see rather than to what we hear? See, a bass control on a Mesa is not going to be the same as a bass control on a PV. It's just not. Every time they build those amps, each one of those manufacturers, they assign a different frequency spectrum to the particular controls, whether it's treble, mid, bass. I don't understand all the technical details of it. I just know that I'll grab a bass control or a treble or a mid and turn it on different amps, and it does different things. So don't pay attention to what you see. This isn't just true for like heavy distortion amps, but for example, the buddy that actually, my friend in Nashville that asked me to do this video, he said, Jay, you've got to do a video. And I said, okay, I'll do one on tone. So he was trying to get a really good jazz sound. He had like a $5,000 L5, and he had a Roland JC75. Well, at the time I happened to have a JC120. You want to get a good jazz sound out of that amp? Turn the bass down. Yep, I know it's jazz, but turn the bass down all the way. Turn the mid up all the way, and turn the treble down all the way. On that amp, it works fantastic. It sounds so greasy. So, in summary, what I'm asking you to do is consider that regardless of what you have, okay, you got to think outside the box. You don't need to buy an expensive amp. And I can talk from experience. I've had Mesas. I had a Blue Angel 412. I had a Mesa Formula Pre going into a stereo 5050. I've had a Fender Blues DeVille. I had a couple of them. I ran in stereo. I had a Cornford Roadhouse 30, the first one in America, actually. I had a VHT, like I said. I had I've played on PVs. I've played on all kinds of amps. And I want to tell you, it's not about the amp, and it's not about how much you spend on the amp. If you saw what I'm playing through over here, you'd just laugh. In fact, I told my son who's helping me do this video, I said, hey, don't get that amp on the video because people will just turn the channel. You just go to another link, right? It's a killer sound. I'm playing through a really nice cabinet. I've got a really cheap head. it just sounds fantastic. You think about the people back in the 60s and 50s that we try to emulate their tone. They didn't have money. A lot of these guys were broke musicians, right? They got killer tone, right? How do they do that? Because they think outside the box, okay? They're going to be musical. They're going to play what they hear. So, in summary, don't pay attention to what your eyes see. Pay attention to what your ears hear. Think outside the box. And I'll talk to you next time. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it, and there'll be other videos to come. Thanks.